Yes, people, what's going on? It's Seagull Talks Football. We're back again with another video. Today on Arsenal News, we got to talk about Gyokeres' bid getting rejected, Nico Williams, Rodrygo, which one is it going to be? We got to also talk about potential center-back options as Arsenal are interested in Jorrel Hato over there at Ajax. He can play center-back, he can play a left-back, he can play all sorts of different positions to help the team, plus the Benjamin Sesko situation, what's going on there. Also, we've been linked to Jhon Duran, that formerly used to play for Aston Villa, currently playing for Al Nassr. Looks like they want to loan him away, and Arsenal have been offered the opportunity to take him on loan. But before we go any further, please do hit that like button. Please do hit that subscribe button. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to run through all the news. We're going to go dissect it one by one, looking at everything that needs to be spoken about. But first things first, how's everybody doing? Hope everyone's doing well. Yesterday, there was a little bit of a StreamYard outage. One second. There was a StreamYard outage between 5 and 7:30, which did not allow me to then get the time needed to get everything sorted to do my stream. So I wasn't able to do my stream after 8 o'clock, but we're here, we're doing it, we're going to talk about it. So yeah, let's get on to it. First things first, please do hit that like button, please do hit that subscribe button, and let's start with Victor Gyokeres. Now, in case you guys don't know, there was a bid for Victor Gyokeres yesterday. Yes, there was a bid for Victor Gyokeres yesterday, and we're going to break all that down at this moment in time. So yeah, let's go straight on to Twitter. We're going to go to good old Twitter, and we're going to go to Eduardo Hagen, as he's one of the Arsenal guys who always reports and takes down all the reports. So yesterday around, what time was it? Here we go. So yesterday, around 17 hours ago yesterday, around 4:30, we heard of an unofficial bid going in for Victor Gyokeres. Here we go. So this was the report. The report was Arsenal have submitted the first concrete offer for Victor Gyokeres to Sporting. The offer was presented yesterday at a meeting that took place in Spain, and of course, that was 55 million euros, 10 million add-ons, is set to be rejected. So what happened here? Why would they have a meeting and then Arsenal submit a bid that falls short of their valuation? What is Arsenal trying to gain from this situation? What is Arsenal thinking? What are we doing? Why are we lowballing? Some people would be saying. But in my opinion, I think this is just part of the negotiations. This is part of the strategy. Arsenal told Sporting they want the player, and the way that they initiate those conversations is by putting a first offer in. The first offer is not always going to be the offer that blows the team away, that is way above the valuation. They're trying to negotiate. There's going to be a first offer which is going to be close to what they initially thought was his agreement. His agreement initially with the club in January was he stays. They're going to sell him for around 60 million euros plus 10 million add-ons. But the agent of Victor Gyokeres is pushing one thing, and the club is pushing something separate. Now, let me show you guys what Fabio Romano tweeted yesterday that really had me interested in this whole situation and what's going on. He tweeted this about 16 hours ago. Fabio Romano tweeted it. So clearly this was after the initial reports that Arsenal have approached Sporting with an offer. We heard reports from Fabio Romano stating that Victor Gyokeres was unhappy with everything that was going on, and that Victor Gyokeres was not happy with the state of the agreement between Sporting and himself. So here we go. So Victor Gyokeres fired back at the agent, and this is his first words, firing back at them. Victor Gyokeres says there's a lot of talking at the moment. Most of it is false. I will speak when the time is right. That is one thing. There's also been more reports about from Victor Gyokeres' camp talking about the fact that he feels disappointed that he's going on strike. There's been so many little things about everything going on, but one thing we do know is that he will most likely be moving this summer, and he will be leaving Sporting. He's even gone to the extent of where people are saying that he's going to go on strike and he's not going to play for Sporting. We're going to have to wait and see how much of that is true, how much of that is false, how much of that is just speculation. But at this moment in time, there was a bid. The bid was rejected, and I think it's a little bit of playing games, putting it out there that you bid for Gyokeres maybe changes the situation over there at what do you call it, at RB Leipzig, or maybe RB Leipzig fix up, because we know what's going on at RB Leipzig. We know that RB Leipzig want to sell the player, but they don't want to sell him for cheap. They want to make sure they get as much money as possible. So we're going to have to wait and see. But talking about the gentleman's agreement that Victor Gyokeres had, this is the situation with the gentleman's agreement. Victor Gyokeres, there was a gentleman's agreement between Victor Gyokeres' agent and the sporting director, Higo of Sporting, right? Now he has left, and after Gyokeres' season, Sporting do not want to honor that agreement and now want between 80 to 85 euros. The player is clearly not happy. This is what Fabrizio Romano said on his YouTube account. The player is clearly not happy with the sporting director leaving. They have nobody there to commemorate the handshake agreement with the sporting director, and the club do not have to honor an agreement that the sporting director arranged with the agent if it was not put into a contract. The mistake that they've all made is that they've made all these agreements without putting anything on paper. So it's really on Victor Gyokeres' team. It's really on Victor Gyokeres' agent to try to get the best deal possible. But at this moment in time, Sporting do not have to sell for the agreed price that they agreed back in January. That is just has no bearing on the decision making at this moment in time. Going to the next thing, an official Sporting source told Record Portugal that what happened yesterday is a first approach from Arsenal, meaning that their understanding no formal offer has been made. There is no formal proposal for the player. Aforementioned source told other newspapers considering the offer to be an approach. So it's an approach. It's not an official offer. It's not an official bid. They're just negotiating what kind of price they think Arsenal would be willing to pay compared to what kind of price Sporting would want for said player. So what's interesting to me is the conversation has gone from Sesko to Arsenal's in talks with Gyokeres and we're doing bids. Well, this is how Andre Berta does business. This is how Andre Berta has always done business. He's always been a guy who makes sure he covers all his bases. And in my opinion, this is what he's doing. He's playing a little bit of mind games, a little bit of cat and mouse. Who wants their players sold more? Arsenal's happy with either Gyokeres or Sesko. But Sporting, do you have enough options to sell Gyokeres? Does Gyokeres want to go to some of the other clubs that you're offering him to? Or Sesko, same thing with RB Leipzig. I'm going to get to RB Leipzig in a second, but I think Andre Berta is playing a smart game here. He's confusing a lot of the sources, muddying the waters. Nobody knows exactly what Arsenal's going to do. And in that situation, when you're that unpredictable, you hold the cards in the negotiations. Yes, we know, everybody knows we need a striker. We know which two strikers we're going to sign. One of them we're going to sign, but they don't know which one of them we're going to sign. Arsenal are currently working on both deals at the same time. And that's why I said Andre Berta is playing games to get Arsenal the best deal possible. And at least that's what I hope. At least that's what I hope. That's what I've denounced from everything that I've read, from everything that I've seen. It looks like Arsenal are playing games to get the best deal possible. And it's really, really something that is making it interesting, this transfer window, because it seems like nobody knows what is going on at this moment in time. And that is intriguing, because if nobody knows what you're going to do, if nobody knows what your cards are, they can't predict what you're going to do. They can't dictate how you do business. And that is very interesting. Now, there is also a situation with Sesko. Sesko had an agreement in place also. Sesko had an agreement with RB Leipzig apparently, and they're also not honoring the deal that they had with their agreement. But it's very interesting. So both Gyokeres and Sesko both have similar issues with the transfers and the agreements that are ongoing. But let's talk about some of the Sesko topics. First thing first, shout out to everyone in the comment section. I do see a lot of people saying big up, life lesson. Agreements mean nothing, 100%. Life lesson, agreements mean nothing. You need to get it written down on paper. Handshakes don't mean anything in court. First things first, Sesko is currently is preferring to remain in Europe. Of course, we know Sesko wants to stay in Europe. He does not want to leave Europe at the age of 22. He wants to stay in Europe. He wants to continue to play at the top level, and Arsenal want to land him. But talks currently are ongoing. Let me read the rest of the quote. Sources in Germany said that Arsenal is the preferred target, but there is no offer yet. Berta is studying the number 9 targets and the financial involvements in each. Gyokeres among those targets. Watkins is unlikely, but not completely ruled out. So Ollie Watkins is still ruled in. Sesko won't play for Bosnia. Versus Bosnia for Slovenia, of course, as Leipzig asked the Slovenian FA to take him out so he does not get any injuries, as Arsenal are set to make fresh talks that last week, and the player prefers to stay in Europe despite the interest from Al Hilal. Al Hilal tried to get him before the Club World Cup. That did not work for them at all. They tried, but they couldn't get it. They couldn't get the deal done. There's also this one here saying that one story this week will be that Arsenal are very positive talks with the players' camp and Leipzig, but the contract will resume early this week. No agreement or personal terms or fees yet. The player is keen to join Arsenal. So both Gyokeres and Sesko want to join Arsenal, but neither of them have an agreement yet in place. RB Leipzig make Sesko request as Arsenal's transfer talks escalate. This was 6 days ago, so really and truly, not too much has moved on the Sesko situation at this moment in time. Now, before we go any further, please do hit that like button. Please do hit that subscribe button. I'm gonna just say one more thing. There is a conversation here. Fabrizio Romano 13 hours ago said something about Sesko before we go any further. Fabrizio Romano spoke about Sesko, said contact between RB Leipzig and Arsenal, of course, ongoing for 2 weeks. No agreement. We know that. Strong contact in advance, but still working it out. Before Sesko going to Arsenal, negotiations are ongoing. We have to remember that Gyokeres remains as a strong option on the list. So at this moment in time, it just seems like they're keeping all options open. They're not really giving us any real strong news. Apparently, we already spoke about the formal bid for Gyokeres. Doesn't seem like it's actually a formal bid. It's just negotiations between the Portuguese club and Arsenal. So we're going to have to wait and see what happens there. Also, in other news, Gabriel Magalhães, Arsenal's centre back, was just to move away from the Sesko conversation. Gabriel Magalhães was on a podcast yesterday, speaking in his native language, speaking to the interviewer about Rodrygo potentially joining Arsenal, and also speaking about some other stuff. So before we go into speaking about Rodrygo, I just think it's good to hear that Gabriel Magalhães is going to be fit for the upcoming preseason, because that's one thing he did mention in said interview. He mentioned that he was going to be fit. He mentioned that he's going to be available. That was nice to hear. But he also spoke about Rodrygo. Now, before we get on to him speaking about Rodrygo and everything else, I just want to pull up the part where Gabriel Magalhães says he'll be fit for preseason, because that was the main takeaway that I took away from this, was that when speaking with that guy, he said specifically, this was what he said. Let's pull it up. My injury is 3 months. It's been 2 months already. I'm already running on the pitch. I will be ready for the start of preseason. So right there, huge boost for Arsenal. Gabriel Magalhães will be ready at the start of preseason. That is great to hear. I'm happy to hear that news. I'm happy to hear that Gabriel Magalhães will be ready to start preseason. I'm happy to hear that he will not be one of those guys who will continue to be injured going into the new season. And fingers crossed that he does not get any further injuries from now till then. But let's But let's get on to what else he told, because the Rodrygo stuff was very interesting. The Rodrygo stuff, when he's talking about Rodrygo, I think he was basically implying that he spoke to him and he's like, "Yo, come here. You should come here." Let me just pull it up. Rodrygo. Yeah, so Gabriel Magalhães, there you go. Nah, you know what? He hasn't really said too much. He hasn't really said too much that's wild. Like, it's nothing that anybody else wouldn't have said. You know what I mean? This is what he said. Let me pull it up for you guys. So when speaking about Rodrygo to Arsenal, he said, "I've said to the director Berta that Rodrygo is a phenomenon. Is a phenomenon." He also said, do you know if Rodrygo will join Arsenal? I don't know, but obviously he's a phenomenon. I have told people around he's a phenomenon. If is that what I'm saying? He's a phenom.
Phenomenon.
Yeah, I was saying it right. He's a phenomenon. If it was up to me, of course, I spoke to the director. So there you go. He spoke to the director. Hopefully him speaking to Berta can get that deal done. But at the end of the day, we still need Rodrygo to make sure he joins. All we can do is hope that he can join, but it's up to the people running the club to get the deal done. You know what I mean? It's up to the people at the club to get this Rodrygo situation sorted. Now, Rodrygo, what a wonderful player he would be. What a wonderful addition to Arsenal Rodrygo could potentially be. I would love to see Rodrygo at Arsenal, and I think majority of you guys in the chat would love to see Rodrygo at Arsenal. But would Rodrygo leave Real Madrid? He's still not had his meeting with Real Madrid, but just think about some of the qualities that he would bring to the table. Just think about some of the things that he could bring to Arsenal's table. The man can pass, he can cross, he can finish, he can dribble, he can hold up the ball. He's overall just such a good winger, and as a left winger, that's his natural position. I could see him putting up numbers for Arsenal. Let's hope and pray that we can get him. But the latest on Rodrygo to Arsenal, what is the latest on Rodrygo to Arsenal? You ask, let me just double check and pull that up as we speak, because last time I checked, Rodrygo still hasn't had his meeting with Xabi Alonso, but there is news from Madrid zone that there is a situation ongoing. We're going to have to wait and see how it escalates from here. But Rodrygo still hasn't had his meeting. Rodrygo is still waiting to have that meeting with Xabi Alonso before he does anything. And I do think that is going to it's going to take a little time, because there's going to be new players coming in. They're going to be starting working for the Club World Cup. When he's going to have that conversation, I don't know. But one thing I can tell you is that on Madrid zone right here, they have been speaking about Rodrygo a lot, and they said that Rodrygo is convinced that Xabi Alonso's arrival will open many new opportunities for him and help him regain his importance at Real Madrid. That was Marca. So Marca is not the most reliable source. You also have another one here saying that Rodrygo is happy under Xabi Alonso's orders. Disappear with the arrival of Xabi. Let's see. That is what Marca is saying once again. Marca is not the most reliable source. Another one source here coming out the other day saying that Arteta is in love with Rodrygo. We know about that. We know that Arteta really likes Rodrygo. He really wants Rodrygo. Rodrygo's back training with the Real Madrid team, of course. There's also the talks about Rodrygo himself posting that he's happy back in training. But the main reason why people are talking about Rodrygo, and the main reason why people are speaking about Rodrygo in this light is because take away all the stuff, you have reliable journalists coming out like this man here, Mario, saying that Rodrygo has been approached by Premier League clubs and Arteta is convinced that he could be a big role at Arsenal. That is one person just right there coming out and saying that. Numerous people, another one here coming out and saying that Rodrygo will speak with Xabi Alonso in the future. The player will express he wants to feel important and most comfortable on the left. Who plays on the left for Real Madrid? Vinicius Jr. it is going to be very interesting to see if there is a situation where he is taken out of the team, sold, what happens. But with the new arrival of this man here, the Argentinian from River Plate, could that mean the end of Rodrygo? We don't know. We have to wait and see. But the main person who really got everyone excited is the what's his name? Suarez. He's the one who really got everyone excited because he said the Rodrygo to Arsenal is legitimate, to the point where he said, F it. Rodrygo to leave Real Madrid this season. Franco joining was a key factor in him to be sold, and now the Argentinian is here. The club are ready to part ways. According to my sources, Rodrygo will be an Arsenal player very soon, and there is possibilities that the club is more likely the one. Sticking my neck out here, but 90% done. Wow. 90% done. Now, this is the same guy who broke the Trent news. This is the same guy who's broken a lot of news before. Like, I don't think we can take him lightly, because just show you, he's broken this news before that they're signing this guy. He broke the Trent Alexander-Arnold news. He is not a fake. He's broken news before. Could this be the biggest story that he breaks in his whole time doing content? Because he's a content creator. He's not a journalist. He's a content creator. But he has broken many, many stories in the past. So we're going to have to wait and see if this is legitimate. Now, next, very interesting conversation about Nico Williams. Nico Williams conversation does not go away. The Nico Williams conversation does not go away. Arsenal seem to keep going back in for Nico Williams. So are also Bayern Munich are also interested in Nico Williams. But what is the latest on Nico Williams? What is really going on with Nico Williams? Let me tell you what's going on so you don't have to go and search it up yourself. Nico Williams is a really talented player that Arsenal wants. Arsenal want him, but David Ornstein gives us an update on what is going on, and it's a long update to say the least. But I'm going to try to get out of the fluff and just get to the main crux of the conversation here. The main crux of the conversation here is that Nico Williams is still a target of Arsenal's. They still view him as one of their highest potential winger options. Now, obviously, Rodrygo would be number one, but the number 9 is the priority for Arsenal right now, of course. You would imagine normally that somebody on the left would also be looking at, so they would be looking at somebody who can do both. They were interested in Leroy Sané. Leroy Sané has now chosen to go to Galatasaray. I don't think there's anyone much higher thinking than Nico Williams, of course. We need to pay attention to that situation. But of course, Arsenal are also admirers of Rodrygo. Xabi Alonso's talks will determine what happens with Rodrygo. If there's a situation where Rodrygo stays, maybe we'll go back in for Nico Williams. But Arsenal would like a situation, financial, and would have to look at the finances, because his wages is also still a big problem. When we speak about financial and finances involved, his wages are crazy. Because in case you don't know, Nico Williams is making good wages. Nico Williams' he's making good wages. He's making good wages. Per week, he's currently on 200 euros a week. He's making good wages where he is. So he's going to demand high wages over at Arsenal. It just comes part and parcel of when you have players of that caliber that you're going for. So we're going to have those discussions eventually. Next conversation that we're going to need to discuss is none other than what's going on with Jared Hato. Now, the Hato situation is very interesting, because why do Arsenal need another defender? Why do Arsenal need another defender? People keep asking, why do Arsenal need another defender? Another defender. Well, we are linked to another defender, and this is another left back / center back, because believe it or not, Arsenal might need one if the likes of Zinchenko or Kiwior are sold. and we're going to speak about them potentially being sold in a second. But this is the report from Team News Ticks, and I'm going to show you guys a couple of reports. So Team News Ticks, Arsenal linked to Hato. It is more than a phone call to understand the situation, as Andre Berta is working on multiple deals at the same time. Arsenal were in talks with Dean Huijsen, who's gone to Real Madrid, but there's also talks between Jorrel Hato's camp. Now, at the moment, it is not clear the situation plays out. The players' camp are unsure about how much minutes he'll get at Arsenal. And needs mulling over for opportunities. But of course, Chelsea are also interested, and reportedly Liverpool are also interested. So the Ajax captain, the young 19-year-old, or however old he is one of the more one of the leaders in the team at the age of 19, and he could potentially be killing it at somebody else, killing it in the future at the top level. If he's already captaining Ajax at that age, like, what a wonderful player he already is. He can play center back. He can play as a left back. Where is he going to play for Arsenal? We don't know. Mikel Arteta will figure that out. But at this moment in time, I think he's going to end up at Chelsea or maybe Liverpool, as they're interested in him also. And I think that's the more likely destination for him at this moment in time. Quickly getting back to the next topic. Hopefully you guys are keeping up as I'm trying to get through everything. And please do hit the like button, guys, because this does help the channel massively. As you guys do hit that like button, it will help the channel massively every time. Now, quickly, let's just get through some of the other news. Enough about Jorrel Hato. We've already spoken about some of these other players. We know about Zubimendi. There's no need to mention him today. We know about Kepa, but just to give you guys a quick update from David Ornstein on Kepa. David Ornstein said that we believe Kepa has agreed to join Arsenal and they will pay the 5 million release clause. It is not done yet, but the situation is advanced and is being worked on. Kepa is prepared to fight for his place with Raya. Of course, they're going to say that, but let's be honest. Kepa's not going to take Raya's place. Like, we don't have to worry about Kepa taking Raya's place. Kepa's going to be coming to be the backup, and he knows that, but he's going to say whatever he has to say to try to make himself sound like he's going to try to fight. And if Kepa beats Raya to that number one spot, I'm going to look at Raya differently if that ever happens. No chance that happens in my books. But yeah, enough about that. Time to talk about the next thing that we need to talk about. So we spoke about Sesko. We spoke about that. Now let's talk about the Jhon Duran links. The Jhon Duran links are weird. The Jhon Duran links are weird, in my opinion. Now, who takes Jhon Duran at Arsenal? Let me know. Who takes Jhon Duran at Arsenal? Is Jhon Duran an upgrade on what we currently have to our disposal? Potentially, yeah. He's better than what some of the guys we have at this moment in time. Is he better? Is he better? No way. Ornstein Bumba live on stream? What happened? What happened? Bro, you guys telling me Ornstein Bumba about Liverpool? What we doing? Why are you guys telling me about Ornstein drop about Liverpool? You think we care right now? Liverpool's deal with Florian Wirtz has been done. What? 100 million plus 16 million for the 22-year-old? 116 million is cheap, yeah. Compared to the 150 million euros that they were talking about. That's like 126 million pounds. That's not as bad as what people are making it out to be. Arsenal made a call in a few weeks to understand the situation with Jhon Duran. Is that true? Is that really true? Is that really true? Like, did we make... Oh, no, that was in January. We made the call in January. What happened recently? Because there's been recent links. There's been recent links to Jhon Duran. Where are those links? I want to hear about those. Here we go. So Jhon Duran could be allowed to leave Al Nassr on loan this summer. This is being reported from somebody in Saudi Arabia. So here we go. Jhon Duran could be allowed to leave Arsenal leave Al Nassr this summer. So with that report being reported, what they're saying is that Jhon Duran is being linked to several clubs. Those clubs being Manchester United, Arsenal, and Liverpool. Al Nassr are looking to let him go on loan. He has not done so well over at Al Nassr. The player wants to come back to the Premier League. There's 3 clubs that they're looking at. In his time at Al Nassr, what did he do? He scored 8 goals, got 4 goals in the Champions League. You know what? That's not bad. That's not bad. 12 goals in, what is that, 18 games? That's really good return. I don't know why they want to get rid of him. Maybe it's because he's 21 years old and he chased money instead of playing at the top level. But somebody maybe should take a chance on him. Somebody should maybe take a chance on him. That is a good goal return. That is a good goal return, to be fair. That is a good goal return. Let's see what happens. I think Jhon Duran, it's not going to happen. He's not going to come to Arsenal. Arsenal is going to get Sesko or Gyokeres. Jhon Duran is extremely underwhelming. If you think Ollie Watkins is underwhelming, Jhon Duran would be 10 times more underwhelming of a signing, and I don't think that's going to happen at all. So we can forget about that. Next, talking about a certain Morgan Rogers to Arsenal. People were talking about Morgan Rogers to Arsenal. Now, Morgan Rogers to Arsenal is not going to happen. Let's be honest now. Aston Villa want ridiculous money for Morgan Rogers. Both Chelsea and Arsenal are interested, but the reports are that Morgan Rogers would be a ridiculously high price, and they do not want to sell him for anything cheaper than that. So here we go. This is the conversation. Chelsea and Arsenal admire Morgan Rogers, but it would take a huge offer to make Villa consider selling. They want 90 million. Villa's fee that they want, the fee that they want, wait. Aston Villa, Morgan Rogers price tag. There we go. So they want 70 million. Some reports even say 100 million. What are they smoking? 90 million. What are they smoking? What are they smoking? 90 million for Morgan Rogers? I'm sorry. Do they think Morgan Rogers is worth that much? Do they really think that? Come on. That's expensive. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think Chelsea's going to pay 90 million. I don't think Arsenal's going to pay 90 million. I don't think anybody in the world is going to pay 90 million for Morgan Rogers. But yeah, Florian Wirtz 116 million is a bargain. You know what? Enjoy it, mate. Enjoy it. Florian Wirtz for 116 million. Enjoy it. At the end of the day, you don't care how much money he comes in for as long as he does the business, right? Chelsea want him, but does anybody see Chelsea paying 90 million for him? Be honest. Do any of you guys think Chelsea's going to pay 90 million for Morgan Rogers? I think that would be ludicrous, to say the least. I think most likely he's going to stay at Aston Villa. It's unlikely he goes anywhere. He's going to stay at Aston Villa, and that's pretty much that. That's going to be that. We don't really have to stress about anything about Arsenal spending ridiculous money on Morgan Rogers. Like, what are we talking about? I like Morgan Rogers, but there's no chance that we're going to spend that kind of money on Morgan Rogers. No chance we spend that kind of money on Morgan Rogers, in my opinion. But yeah, let's see what's next. Next we have the situation with forget about Fabio Vieira. We got to talk about Hand of Arsenal coming out here reporting that there's some news on Alexander Zinchenko. So AC Milan want Alexander Zinchenko. AC Milan want to pay for Zinchenko, but the problem they have is one of two things. They're trying to lowball Arsenal. So this is no longer Edu working here, man. This is no longer Edu in the negotiation room. You got Andre Berta in the negotiation room, and he basically told them, put the money in the table or get out of here. In some other words, specifically, pay a respectable sum, or leave the room. That right there, some boss words right there. That right there is what we like to hear. That right there is what we're talking about. Now, Zinchenko has been linked to AC Milan numerous times. Zinchenko has been linked to AC Milan for the last couple of days. AC Milan hinting at trying to get him. AC Milan also hinting at trying to get Kiwior also. But I'm not going to lie to you. I don't think Arsenal is going to sell Kiwior. We're going to probably try to sell Zinchenko. But why would we sell Kiwior? I think Kiwior has shown last season that he's a very good backup. And unless somebody's coming in and giving us decent wages for Kiwior, I don't see us selling Kiwior 1 second. But Zinchenko to AC Milan, I can see that. I can see Zinchenko to AC Milan, but Kiwior to AC Milan, unlikely to happen in my opinion. I think Kiwior kind of changed everyone's mind at Arsenal last season, how he performed to end that year. He was quite reasonable. He was one of the more reliable players in the team, getting goals, keeping clean sheets, playing very well next to the likes of Saliba and the rest of the boys. So we're going to have to wait and see what happens there. We also know that Thomas Partey lately has been going on like a little bit of a tour. Thomas Partey has been going everywhere. Thomas Partey talking about his Arsenal future. Everywhere he goes, he's having meetings, he's having interviews, press conferences. He's dropping hints everywhere he goes that he wants to stay at Arsenal. He's making it clear that Arsenal is the ones that are not giving him what he's asking for. I think he's asking for similar wages to what he's currently on, and Arsenal want a discount plus give him less years. So they're looking at giving him, 2 years, 1+1 at reduced wages. And I don't think he wants that. I think he wants to secure his future, plus understand that this might be his last big paycheck that he can get before his career dwindles away. So I don't know about what's going to happen with Partey, but from the reports that I'm reading, Partey is constantly asking for a new deal. Partey is constantly saying he's an Arsenal fan. He wants to stay. The contract talks with Partey are intensifying. There's not been many real updates on the contract talks. All we know is that Arsenal are looking to give him a new concrete offer. He's waiting for an offer from Arsenal. Neither of them have yet walked away and decided to go separate ways. If that does happen, we're going to have to sign a new player. But at this moment in time, I personally would keep Partey. Just allows us to not have to go and sign too many more players this window. It allows us to continue to keep that midfield going into next season with Rice, Odegaard, and Partey. And Zubimendi can walk himself into the team and get used to it as we go. But before we go any further, please do hit that like button. Please do hit that subscribe button. Big up to you. Thank you. Stephen, Irish grandmother, says congratulations, Iga, on the keys. Iga, I saw your here we go. Thank you for the message, Stephen. Really do appreciate it. Big up to you in the comment section, and big up to everyone watching right now in the chat. Really do appreciate all the love and support you guys give the channel and myself. But yeah, it was a busy day yesterday, man, say the least. Busy day to say the least. Hopefully you guys are liking the video also, because there is over, how many of you guys are there? Wow, there's so many of you guys here. I hope you guys are liking the video. Just to click on it right now, there's over 230 of you guys on YouTube right now. And you know something? What I noticed is we only have 54 likes. We should be at least on 150 likes. Come on, guys. Hit that like button right now. Hit that subscribe button while you guys are here. It is absolutely free. It doesn't cost a penny. Why not? Why not hit that like button? Let's get on to the next piece of business before we go any further. Next piece of business before we go any further is to talk about some more news regarding Arsenal. Now, I'm not going to talk about Martinelli or anything like that. I'm just going to mention there's one more guy. What is he doing? What are we doing with Fabio Vieira? What are we doing with Fabio Vieira? Fabio Vieira has reportedly stated that Porto have reportedly stated that they have resigned to the fact that they won't sign Fabio Vieira. There was no buy clause in the loan deal, and they cannot afford him. Arsenal do not want a loan again. He is expected to be excluded from our preseason. So it looks like we spent 35 million on a dud, ladies and gentlemen, because Porto don't want to pay for him, and he is also expected to be excluded from the preseason. So it looks like there's no plans on keeping Fabio Vieira at Arsenal. I don't know whose idea it was to sign Fabio Vieira, but clearly we don't have plans with him in the future. And it was such a random signing to begin with. Imagine we went to Sporting, and out of all the players that they had there at the Porto, and all the players that they had there at the time, we ended up leaving with Fabio Vieira. The Porto team at the time, if I'm not mistaken, had so many different ballers in that team, but we ended up leaving with Fabio Vieira. I'm kind of disappointed. It is what it is. What can you do? What can you do, ladies and gentlemen? We're going to have to wrap it up here, though. Hopefully, Fabio Vieira can find a new home, and we don't have to stress about Fabio Vieira trying to find a new home in the foreseeable future. But yeah, is there any new Arsenal news at this moment in time? I don't think so. Let me see if I can just see anything. 1 second. Is there anything that I would have missed or not mentioned? I feel like we pretty much spoke about everything that needs to be spoken about. What's going on with Zubimendi? Somebody said earlier. Zubimendi situation is pretty straightforward. Zubimendi deal is going to get done July 1st. Right now, we're just waiting until then. And the clubs have agreed. The player has agreed. That's pretty much done. So yeah, that's that for now. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully it was important, informative. Somebody said spooky source. What are you talking about? Are you talking about Fabio Vieira, or I'm confused? The Fabio Vieira source was spooky? What is he talking about? I'm so confused. Yeah, no, I don't get it. Anyways, you let me know what you're talking about. If you're talking about Fabio Vieira, Jordan Davis. Oh, the Sun. Yeah, he works for the Sun. The Sun is a poor source, but at the same time, it is a source, right? We're gonna have to wait and see what happens, because Fabio Vieira has been included in Porto's Club World Cup campaign. So he's included in the Club World Cup campaign. So I don't know how he's gonna play in the Club World Cup when isn't he supposed to return back at the end of the month? Wait, yeah, the Club World Cup is technically still part of last season. So we'll have to wait and see. Anyways, that's pretty much it, guys. There's nothing more to be said right now. As we get more news, as there's any more breaking news, as there's any major changes, I will keep you guys informed, and I'll come back and do a video. For now, that is pretty much it. 2 hours. Oh, 1 second. Before we go. What the hell? Before we go, let me just go back one more thing. Here we go. What's this? What is this? No. What is this? Victor Gyokeres' agent set to fly out to talk with Arsenal as his relationship with Sporting continues to take a downturn. Interesting. And then I'm told that there's an Emirates Cup fixture this season, and it would be August 9th and 10th, depending on the Community Shield date, kickoff time, which hasn't yet been announced. Second preseason friendly at the Emirates. Don't be surprised to see 2 preseason friendlies at the Emirates. What? Last season, don't be surprised to see. Hey, don't we only have 1 preseason friendly at the Emirates usually? That's true. Hey, it is what it is. Anyways, we're going to wrap it up here, guys. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Love for the love. Is there any more super chats to read? No, there isn't. Thank you, everyone. Look at my comment. What comment? Here we go. Arsenal are expected to bid RB Leipzig striker next week. You can't take Steven with it. Bro, Steven's not a reliable source. Steven is not a reliable source. You can't take him as a serious source. We gotta chill with Steven, because I think Steven's a fake source. What phase are you and Egal? Big up on the new place. Big up to you, man. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Catch you guys in the next video, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully you guys like the video. And I'll catch you guys when I'm back later tonight at 8 o'clock. Peace.